What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Malik. Matter of fact, let me turn this down. It's your boy Malik. I'm coming to you again with some more content. About my journey, as a MOST or a MOST, transfer. But before I get into today's content, I did post a video on my YouTube. The link is in my bio, so go ahead and click the link, like and subscribe to my channel. Mostly I post my sermons on there, but I'll have some of my military content on there as well now. So this morning's video, it's about 3 minutes long. It's pretty much me showing you what my mornings look like as a MOST. I didn't go in depth completely because my roommate was still asleep, and I couldn't sleep last night, so I was up pretty early. But you can go ahead and watch that video on my YouTube, and it should be there. But like I said yesterday, I'm going to now talk about why I decided to reclass after 5.5 years. But before I get into that, I want to talk about why I decided to join the military in the first place. So in 2020, I had just graduated from college with my first bachelor's degree, and I had just got done taking the exam, and I did not know what I wanted to do next. I had a government job at the time, and I was bored with that. So I was actually leaving the library, and I was looking into some stuff. And I was driving back home, and I got a phone call from a recruiter. And the recruiter actually was looking for my brother Tevin. And for those of you who don't know, Tevin actually was considering joining the military at one point, but some personal things happened and he couldn't. I don't know how the recruiter got my phone number at the time, but anywho, he got in contact with me. I told him that I wasn't Tevin, and then he and I began to talk, and I told him how I just took my final exam, and I was going to graduate with my bachelor's in theology the next month. So I planned on walking the stage in January of 21. So we got to talking, and the recruiter brought up a program, Teach to Soldier or whatever it was at that time. And at the time, I was going to school, and I was also subbing at Baker Victory. So I knew I wanted to teach. So I'm like, I already have a government job, so why not just do this full time with the military? But coming to find out, that program was a lie. There was no Teach to Soldier program. He was just bull crapping me. And then I'll say this before I move on. If you have a son, daughter, cousin, grandson, whatever, that wants to join the military, I'm not going to say all recruiters are liars, because they're not. I'm good friends with one, and he's legit, and he's honest, and he's intentional, and he will not steer you wrong. But if you have someone who's thinking about joining the military, please send them my way. I'm not a recruiter. I'm thinking about doing that if I renew my contract. I have 2 years left on my current one, and then I'm thinking about re-enlisting once I come back from Poland next year, and seeing if I could go down the recruiter route. But I'll talk more about that in another video. But back to why I joined the military, right? So I signed my contract. I think it was like December 19th, 2020. I shipped out for VCT February of 21. I went to Fort Jackson, South Carolina, and then I was there for 10 weeks. And maybe I'll share some content about my basic training experience, because it was a doozy. And you know, I have some people on my page that, you know, were there with me, and they know. So but anyway, so then I ended up going into the military as a 92 Fox. So that's pretty much a fueler in layman's terms. So I went in as a reservist, 92 Fox, as a fueler. Went to Fort Jackson for basic. Then I came here to Fort Lee for AIT for 10 weeks. I did all of my training, all of my hazmat stuff, and then boom, graduated in July of 21. Then, you know, I went to my unit, which was in Niagara Falls, New York, at the Air Force Base. I don't know why my camera is doing this. That's really weird. But anywho, I'll go ahead and edit that. But so I was stationed in Niagara Falls, New York. And I'm not going to talk bad about that unit, because, you know, I'm still cool with some people from that unit. But, you know, for those of you who know me, I am very thorough. But when it comes to the military, I was kind of behind because I didn't really know what to expect. And, you know, I don't have a lot of friends or family that's in the military, so I didn't know, you know, what to expect. So I didn't know much about, you know, pay structure, you know, rank, the TSP, the Satan program or whatever it's called. So I was behind the ball, and then whenever I did ask questions, I was always lied to. So I was going off of what, you know, my NCOs told me or what Google said. But, you know, come to find out, because I did have a bachelor's degree, I could have came in as an E4, which I am right now. I'm a specialist. But I had shipped out to basic as an E1 or a PV1. I didn't know anything about the ranks or whatever, so I was like cool, I have a rank, whatever. But then I got to AIT, and my battle buddy Fisher from California, I think he's from, he put me on to, you know, what my, you know, rank and grade should be. So while we were at AIT, I think we had just got done doing a test, and he came up to me because we were talking about, you know, college and stuff. And he had asked me, like, you know, well, why are you a PV1 when you have a degree? You should definitely be a E4. So I was like, I know nothing about that, but I'll look into it. So I had, you know, a copy of my orders that I got from MEPS. So, you know, I contacted MEPS back in New York, and, you know, I was told that, you know, I was processed wrong. And, you know, I think her name was Staff Sergeant Blackman, I think. So she had went ahead, and then she had, you know, my class just came back from the DFAT. And she had went in, and she had changed everything, and then I got new orders or whatever. And so I had gave those orders to my drill sergeants here at Fort Lee. And then I had asked them if they could pin me, or, you know, give or do the ceremony where, you know, I get the correct rank. But they said that it makes no difference as long as it's updated, you know, in the system, and then my pay is right. Then I should just wait until I get back home to Buffalo, and then they can do my ceremony then. So I get back to Buffalo. And that was a doozy. I was assigned to the wrong unit. I got assigned to a medical unit as a fueler. So, you know, I was drilling with the wrong unit for like a month until everything got, you know, fixed. Then when I got to my correct unit, I had told them, you know, how, you know, my, you know, rank is wrong, and I gave them the DD form, whatever it was, showing that, you know, I should be getting pinned. They said, yeah, we'll do it. And then I even asked them, you know, was my pay correct? And they said, yeah. So again, you know, me being me, I trust people a little bit too easy. So as a reservist, you aren't on active duty order, so you only get paid your drill pay, which is a prorated amount of what you would normally get if you were on active orders and such. So I didn't pay any mind to it until I got my LES. Then I went and I saw I was a PV1 and I was getting PV1 pay still. So I went, talked to finance, and they said that they would get it done. Each month passed, nothing changed, and I got upset. So there was some discussions had. There was a blow up between one of the full-time staff members and myself. And then I told them that I'm not gonna come to drill unless y'all fix my stuff. And then they were like, no, it's okay, we'll get it fixed. Don't do that, because by you not coming to drill, then we're just gonna assume that you're AWOL, And for those of you who know me, you know that like I don't really care. I'll figure it out. So I eventually wrote a letter to my commander stating that I wanted to separate from the unit. I wrote the letter, gave it to him, and then I didn't go to drill and stuff for almost 2 years. Eventually I was moved to the IRR, and like I said in the video this morning, with the military, it's a lot of abbreviations. I don't know what any of them mean, I just know what I'm told. But anyway, I was placed in the IRR. So I was pretty much in active ready reserve. So I still had time on my contract. So I was just inactive until my contract had expired. So back in January, and here comes why I decided to reclass. So I was leaving work back in January, like a week before my birthday, I think. And a retention NCO reached out to me about a unit in Germany that was mobilizing to Poland next year. And they had some E4, E5, and E6 slots available. So E4 specialist, which I am right now, and then E5 and E6, those are NCOs. Those are pretty much sergeants. From E5 up to, I think, E8, E9, I think. But anywho, so they were looking for soldiers to reclass and fill some slots. So I'm like, yeah, why not? I looked into it and decided that was actually that the 88 November MOS, which I'm here training for now, is what I wanted to go in with at first. But it was either this or a paralegal. But my recruiter talked me into being a fueler, and I listened and I hated it. But I decided to reclass to 88 November, which is a transportation management coordinator. So if for those of you who live in certain states, if you see like all of these military trucks going down the highway, or by rail, or even through the airport, my MOS were the one that schedule all of that stuff. But so I decided to reclass to 88 November, and I was placed with the unit in Germany. I've been over there twice so far, and everything became official in March. Then I went over there in April, and then I went back in May. And I love my new unit. I actually get to do things pertaining to the MOS, unlike when I was in the falls and we just PMCS the same vehicles and field systems and stuff every drill, and that got boring, and I felt like I wasted my time. But now with my new MOS, I'm in a better place. I'm happy again. The classes, they're extremely easy. I'll probably get into the class tomorrow in the video, but you know, like today we had our, I think, 4th test today. It's a total of 6 tests. Then we have our FTX, our field exercise, which is next week, and my team will pretty much be teaching whatever system that, you know, we've been given. Then we have to teach that. I think my teacher said next week on Monday. But yeah, you know, that's pretty much why I reclassed and I chose the MOS I did. And plus, it didn't help that, you know, there was an opportunity to deploy, which was top on my list, because I didn't want to just come back and then do drills, because that's boring. I could have just went back to my old unit. But you know, in Germany, they drill twice a quarter, which is dope. So I only have to go over to Germany twice in a 3-4 month period. And then it also helps that, you know, I'll be deployed to Poland next year for a year. So when I come back, I'll have a year left on my contract. And I don't know if I'm gonna extend my contract another 2 or 3 years, or just re-enlist altogether for whatever time's available. But I'll probably share my thought process with that, you know, once I graduate from here, and then I go to with my unit rather. But yeah, that's pretty much why I joined the military in 2020, and why I reclassed. Yeah, and if I have any more, you know, things to say about why I, you know, reclassed or even joined the military, you know, I'll probably make a part 2 to this, because I do know that there are some things that I'm forgetting. You know, I'm eating my lunch right now, so my mind is on my food. But yeah, you know, if, like I said before, if you have any questions about the military, and I had somebody actually DM me on Instagram, and they had asked me questions about the military, and you know, I told them straight up that, you know, I don't know much, but you know, here's what I do know, so here you go. So with that being said, you know, if you have any questions about the military, or if you want to join, or you know anybody that, you know, wants to join, like I said earlier in the video, you know, definitely feel free to reach out to me. You can text me, you can FaceTime me, DM me on IG and Facebook, and then I'll post, you know, the links to all of my socials in the comments below. Then I will also put the link to my YouTube in the comments too, and then the link to my YouTube is also in my bio. So like and subscribe to my YouTube. Add me on Instagram at Malik Fuller _716, I think, and then my Facebook is Malik C Fuller. And then, you know, be on the lookout for more content. All right, y'all, I love you. Talk to you soon.